Today, you'll be joined by many expert speakers and panelists who will be sharing up-to-date information and knowledge on Africa's fashion manufacturing industry.
People say it's not a new Africa, because Africa's always been there, but there's a new vision and a new discussion, a new narrative that we can all be part of. So I'm happily part of and glad that I started this journey 10 years ago. The challenges are faced with sourcing. Many big challenges, and this is what is stopping people from moving forward. But there's also some gains. When you do produce in Africa, many of these brands are doing this, and you'll hear from some of the speakers I've got coming later who have factories on the continent, that you can create impact on the ground, you can create a legacy business, and you can create finance, because fashion, like I said, is work.
So we've had a programme called Fashion Revolutionaries in our Southern Africa cluster, which was all about, it was led by Zimbabwe, and it's about creating collaborations between fashion activists and innovators from the UK and Southern Africa. And so again, this is exploring those themes that are wider than, yes, fashion is about business, but it can also explore so many other things and tell us so much about our cultural identity, shared and differing. Within the Fashion Revolutionaries programme, they were exploring themes such as sustainability, which we've already covered today as well, the circular economy, the environment, and fashion as activism, or the subversive potential of fashion.
I'm a designer, but also I think as a designer I'm a communicator, and I've gone from working and making products to setting up the Centre for Sustainable Fashion at the university, mainly because I really feel that through education, through changing what we teach, how we teach and why we teach fashion, we can create change that can ripple out across society, industry and across different parts of the world. So, and you've heard already this morning about some great change makers. And it is a more critical time than ever for us to be radical change makers. And the examples you've heard this morning are very tangible, very practical and very much needed. But whilst all of these great things are going on, and whilst awareness of the injustices of our current fashion system are more talked about and more acted upon than ever, we are also simultaneously increasing the devastation that fashion is creating in terms of climate change and social injustice. Never has there been a trajectory that's more devastating, and never has the labour of fashion been so undervalued. So what can we do apart from the changes that we're talking about? We can make ourselves, we can make through our businesses, I can make through working as a designer or as an educator. How can we ripple out change so that it's everybody making change, not just the few? And we also know, as we talked about earlier on, that it's a very complex situation. The imbalance of the world does not start and end here. Sustainability is about finding balance environmentally, socially, culturally and economically. And perhaps one of the main reasons why the world is out of balance is because we've been told stories and sold stories that are actually of detriment to all of us. We've been told repeatedly, and we heard it again on the panel this morning, that the story of success is based on consumption. Indeed, we are told that we are consumers. We're defined by the word consumers. We're not consumers, we're citizens. We end up talking about ourselves as consumers. We need to change this story because it's a myth.
We've got also, a trade agreement being negotiated with India and China. So what we want to do as well is, we are, as a small country, we're very aware that we've got a problem of critical mass. So we can't only produce for the country, we produce for other countries as well. So we want to upgrade the value chain. We don't produce cotton in Mauritius, so get the cottons instead of more from China or India, we get the cotton more from African countries, produce it within Mauritius and then probably export it back, and trying to use the expertise of each country, within the continent itself. So, like, if we have the whole value chain within Africa, this is the thing that we are trying to encourage, not only from our government, from other governments. We had the chance this year of having 3 African head of states visiting the country, from Kenya, from Mozambique and Madagascar. So I think we all took a bit along the same line in terms of where the future trade of Africa is and where we want to be. So it's not that we're cutting things with the West or etc., but we want also to be able to like having our own label, our own brand, and having an African brand in a certain way.
As a former politician myself, I would challenge policymakers within the African continent to be prudent with regard to large capital inflows. When the world looks at Africa as a new territory for conquest and for business opportunities, the question then becomes, in whose interest? Markets and investors driven by profits have proven risky if left unchecked, as experienced during the 2007 to 2008 global financial crisis. Africa has a growing consumer middle class, but Africans have not yet become producers and may be deterred from doing so if FDI crowds out regional investments. Naturally, the continent has caught the attention of many due to it being a resource-rich region. Where national governments and African firms produce little by themselves, this leaves land and capital available to external actors.
In the last few months, I've been to places and proudly I can say that I have lost 3 of my jackets because people literally yanked it off me. Because they get to me and they're surprised, wow, I've never seen anything like this. I said, yes, it's made in Ghana and I'm proudly made in Ghana. That's the Ghanaian story. So if you look at me and you look at what I'm wearing, and I push this, I wear different kinds of clothing, and I think that I can compete everywhere and anywhere with what I'm wearing.